Hello, fellow diamond painting addicts, and welcome back to Diamond Painting Anonymous. I'm Daphne, and I'm here today for this week's WIP and Chat. If you're new here, welcome. If you're not new here, welcome back. WIP, W-I-P, stands for Work in Progress, and this is mine. You are welcome and encouraged to go grab whatever it is you're working on and work alongside while I chat, or alternatively, you can treat this like a podcast. Okay, I have, I think, everything ready to go. Drills, tray, pens, my project. I've got my timer. I've got my notes. I've got my hot tea. I think I'm good to go. So I'm going to rearrange things a bit so I can zoom in where I'm going to be working, and I will be right back. Don't go anywhere. Okay, guys, let me start my timer and pick out my first drill. What do I want to do here first? I'm going to be working in this section over here, so we'll start with some butterfly colors here. Alrighty, so I want to start with my life update as usual. What is going on in my life at the moment? Let's see. Oh, you guys, I love Wendy's Frosties. So I tried the new Wendy's Peppermint Frosty. Yuck, not a fan. First of all, it didn't have any peppermint bits in it like I had been led to believe. And it was pink, and it definitely had a mint flavor, but it tasted like mint cough syrup to me. My husband liked it. I gave it to him after I was done with it and said, yeah, no, not for me. He liked it. Of course, he can't really have anything with sugar, so he had like 3 bites of it and then he threw it away, so. But not my thing. Yeah, I was so excited because I like the regular Frosties, but nope, peppermint was not a thing. Let's see. Everything is going fairly well. Everyone is healthy. Got our holiday decorations put up. Usually it takes us 2 or 3 hours to put up our tree. We used to have a bigger tree. Last year we downsized to a smaller tree that has the lights already put on it. I still would rather do it the old way. Okay, first of all, I'm allergic, so we always have a artificial tree. And we had ours for several years, and it was getting kind of ratty. Because, you know, it's basically wire and fake pine needles, and you can only put it up and put it down so many times before the wires start to give. And we'd had ours for a good probably 10 years. So it was time to call it quits. And I wanted to get a smaller one because I knew we would be downsizing. And it has the lights on it. Now, it only has the white lights and not the multicolored lights, which is what I prefer. But I don't have to do all the stringing. Our old tree, we had 3 different strings of lights. Plus I had like 2 or 3 different kinds of garlands that I had saved from my mom that my mom used to put on our tree. Literally one of them was so old that, I mean, it was old when I was a kid and it was falling apart. But you know, it was my mom's and it was something we'd always had on our tree, and I just had resisted calling it quits with it for a while, but it was time to admit that it was way beyond its lifespan. So several of those got thrown away. And yeah, so it was much easier and faster to put up our tree this year. And I didn't get out all the ornaments and everything that I usually do. First of all, it's a smaller tree, so it wouldn't hold all of them anyway. Some of the ornaments I had already split off and given to my daughter since she has her own place, so you know, things that had her name on them and things like that, I'd given her those, and she'd pick some ornaments that I had made and everything. Our tree is not a traditional tree. I don't go to the store and buy ornaments. We don't have like the traditional Christmas balls and stuff like that on our tree. Everything on my tree is something that somebody has made or gifted, I guess. At my work, we used to do a ornament exchange every year at Christmas, so some of them are from that. So I can't say they were all handmade, but they were gifted to me. And then most of them, the majority of them, when we were younger, we were too poor to afford, fancy ornaments like that. So my grandma had a kiln. We made ceramics. And so my mom made a bunch of our ornaments, painted them up for several years in a row. First when she and my dad got married, and then as us kids came along. So we all have ornaments that have like our name and certain years on them, that kind of thing. And then, probably late 80s, early 90s, when those bread dough ornaments became popular, we got a bunch of those, the ones that you can get that has everybody's name on them and that kind of thing. So I have a ton of those. And that's the kind of stuff that goes on my tree. So I guess they're not all technically handmade because they have those mass-produced ones that have our names on them. But I have a bunch of ornaments that I had painted. That's some of the ones that my daughter took. She wanted to have those for her tree. Not that she has a tree yet, but we'll see what happens. But anyway, so I didn't put up as many ornaments as I usually do because our tree was smaller. So it took a lot less time. And I got rid of a bunch of our Christmas decorations last year. So I didn't have nearly as many decorations to put out either. I mean, I probably had 4 boxes of decorations, 4 or 5, and now I'm down to, I think, 2. So yeah, definitely downsized in that way. Which I probably will build some of that back up once we move. But yeah, just some of it was like, I don't ever put this out anyway, so it didn't make any sense to hang on to it. But I'm done Christmas decorating anyway, so all of our Christmas decorations are up. Most of our gifts are wrapped in under the tree. My husband is supposed to be wrapping while I'm filming. I don't know if he's actually doing that. We ended up having some other things going on today, but anyway, yeah. Our tree looks better. It was looking kind of bare without any ornaments underneath it, so I'm happy that I got some of it wrapped. I don't have everything bought yet. I have, you guys, I don't know what to get my son. He has a birthday right before Christmas. So his birthday is this month. And basically, I got a list with like 3 things on it, and all of that went for his birthday. And I've been, talking to him for the last couple weeks. I need some more ideas. And my husband and I have been racking our brains and just can't think of anything. I mean, we're super lucky, and we know that. All of our needs are met. So at this point, it's, something he would want for Christmas. But he doesn't even have anything he wants. There was a game coming out. He got that. A couple other small things that he wanted, we ended up getting for his birthday. And really, they were kind of crazy things that I felt bad even getting for his birthday. Like he wanted a special kind of water pick. He has a wire in his mouth for his orthodontia. That will probably be in there. Well, I gotta take him to the orthodontist and see how long it's supposed to stay in there and see if we need to get it taken out before we move, once we know when that will be. But anyway, he wanted and I'm like, I hate buying a water pick as a Christmas present or a birthday present. That seems so lame. But he really wanted one, so that's what we got. And yeah, I just don't know what to get him. So we'll see what happens. My husband and I didn't have any ideas either. So, and my son, that is, I've been trying to make both of us get out of the house more because I'm not working. I don't get out as much, and he gets out hardly ever. So I told him I wanted to we always go to this place called the Nifty Nut House. And it's been a holiday tradition in my family forever. My mom always went there during the holidays. Even when we were older, Mom would go there every Christmas. There were certain things that she would buy. She and my dad would buy holiday mixes to give out to like people at work and things like that. My dad was a supervisor at work, so they'd have a big Christmas party with all the people that worked for him and would come to their house and have a big kind of Christmas party / celebration. And anyway, So it's just always been a Christmas thing for us to go there. Well, this place is just a mom and pop place. It's been around since the 30s. And probably somewhere around 5 or 10 years ago, I don't know exactly when, they expanded into a new building right next to their old one. So the old one gets used, I think they wholesale a lot of the stuff they sell as well. And so the old building is used for that and storage, and then they have all their new stuff. But I mean, this place, it's big. But at Christmas time, I mean, you walk up to the counter and, you know, it's kind of like a, I don't want to say a salad bar, but there's like these displays, and they have all of they sell nuts and candy and all kinds of things and mixes and stuff like that. And they have them in there, and you buy them by the pound or the half pound or whatever you want. But if you go in there at Christmas, and especially on a weekend, from the counter to get to the person, it'll be 7 to 10 people deep before you even get to the counter. And then they're just running around back and forth, and they have like what they call their party mix that they pre-package in little 1 pound boxes, and they actually do all the gift wrapping and everything, so you can buy the little 1 pound boxes and give those as gifts, which that's one of the things I do every year. Anyway, they're always just really crowded, so I wanted to go with my son to go there first during the day. It was a Wednesday, and I thought, well, we'll get there right when it opens, and hopefully, you know, most people will be at work. It won't be super crowded. It was actually the 30th when we went of November. So I'm like, it's not even December yet. Maybe it'll be okay. Well, I had looked it up on the internet, and it said they opened at 8. So I told my son, let's leave at 9. That'll put us there around 9:30-ish. And, you know, we'll hopefully be able to get in and get out. Well, we get there, they're not open. So my son looks it up on the internet. I don't know what I did or what happened, but they didn't open until 10 o'clock. And it was like 9:20 when we got there. So I was like, okay, I don't know what I did. Of course, my son's annoyed because he's like, you dragged me all this way and now they're not even open. So we went to a McDonald's and got something to eat. And I was like, by the time we get back, you know, with whatever we've gotten to eat and, you know, sit in the car and finish it, and then it'll be time for them to open and go in. And it was. So it wasn't a huge deal. It was just annoying that we got there and they weren't open. But we got in. Got the stuff I wanted, got out. My husband didn't go with me, so we spent under $100, which is crazy because we usually spend way more than that. Of course, that's my husband in there going, oh, this looks good, this looks good, this looks good, which is also crazy because he's diabetic, so he can't eat 90% of it. He asked me to get him some Cajun snack mix, so I did get him some of that, so he was happy. And then I always get the party mix, so I got enough for us and everyone in the family, so I got that. And then I always get milk chocolate covered cashews because my son loves those. And then I always get whole cashews because I love cashews, and that's like, it's one of the best places to get them. They're always really tasty. They're just always really good cashews. They do their own roasting. And yeah, but I was just surprised we managed to get in and out as quick as we did because, like I said, it's almost always a madhouse, especially at Christmas. And I mean, they're open all year long, but they just do a lot of specialty stuff at Christmas. And we already, like, I actually would have ordered stuff online because they started doing that, of course, with COVID. And so now you can order stuff online and then just go in and pick up your order. So you don't have to wait for people to kind of run around and, you know, measure everything and weigh it and then print the labels and all that stuff. But I wanted the party mixes that they sell, the pre-wrapped ones that are, you know, for Christmas. And for whatever reason, when I got on their website, it wouldn't let me add those to the cart. I could add almost everything else, but it wouldn't let me add those. And those were really what I was there for. The other stuff is just kind of, you know, while I'm here, I'll get this too. But we got in and we got out and it wasn't crazy. So, I mean, we were home by, well, we ended up going shopping somewhere else, but it's all good. So I got my annual Nifty Nut House trick in, and my family will be happy because I'm the one who does that. That'll be something I miss when we're not here. There won't be a Nifty Nut House in Canada. Wonder if I could get my sister or my daughter to mail us some of this stuff. I mean, nuts are not really perishable. I mean, they are, but it wouldn't hurt them to be frozen or whatever. I don't know. I'll have to look into that. I wonder if we could order it and have it sent to us in Canada. I bet we can't. Ugh. Well, we'll just have to come down every once in a while for Christmas so I can get my Nifty Nut House fixed. So what else did we do? Let's see. Oh, speaking of nuts, you guys, I read somewhere that almond milk is supposed to be really good for you. It's low calorie or no calorie, depending on what you get. So I got some almond milk to try in my tea that I drink every morning. My husband drinks this Italian sweet cream, 0 sugar, but Italian sweet cream. Oh, what's the word I'm looking for? Creamer that he puts in his coffee. My son uses it, and I've started putting in my tea, and I really like it. But I thought, you know, I'll give this almond milk a try. It was the peppermint frosty all over again. First of all, for whatever reason, it seemed really thin compared to the creamer that we use. 2, it tasted like almonds, which, you know, I get. It was almond milk, duh. Of course it tasted like almonds, but I don't particularly like almonds. They're not my favorite nut. I mean, I'll eat them if they're in a mix, but yeah, I'd rather have peanuts and cashews if I got to pick. And then there was just like this weird aftertaste that I did not like. And I mean, there was no chemicals or anything in it, so I don't know why it was such a weird aftertaste, but I did not enjoy it. I was like, nope, I will happily stick with my Italian sweet cream. Thank you very much. And I just realized I missed some A's right there, you guys. Always miss stuff. Let's see what else. Oh, my youngest went to his doctor's appointment. He was back in like 20 minutes. Now, they're literally, the doctor's office is like 5 minutes down the street from me, so, but it didn't seem like enough time for him to cover everything. So he comes in and I said, well, what did they say? Oh, well, she looked at his finger and said, yeah, it looks like a wart, and put some stuff on it to freeze it. But he's like, Mom, it didn't hurt and it doesn't feel like it did absolutely anything. And I said, well, what did she say? Well, it should fall off in a couple of days. If it doesn't, then come back and they'll freeze it again. But then we have to pay for the nurse to apply whatever it is. Or he can just go get some of the freeze stuff over the counter at like Walmart or Target or someplace and do it himself. Now, who's going to pay for a nurse to do it and file their insurance and all that business if you could just go to Walmart and buy it and do it yourself? I would hope no one. It didn't work. It's been almost a week and nothing is different. And I said, well, what did they say about everything else? Oh, well, he didn't ask. What are you doing? That's why I sent you there. About his migraines and stuff. Oh, Mom, I'd only get them once in a while. It's fine. Which he doesn't get them all the time, but he does get them more frequently than I do. And they do seem to bother him more than they bother me. But he's a big boy. If he didn't want to get into it, then whatever. And I was like, well, okay. So next time anything goes wrong, you just need to call and make your own appointments and do whatever you're going to do, because I've done my piece here. So we're going to end up going to the store and just buying him some of the freeze-off compound and seeing if it works. And if it doesn't, I guess he's just going to go back to cutting it off with the box cutter like he did last time. Boys, what are you going to do? Let's see. Oh, I'm starting to get excited about our PR. I feel like we're kind of in the home stretch here. You know, we went and did our biometrics. We haven't heard anything else yet, but I'm hoping that we will soon. And I had, well, my daughter came over. Let me tell you about that in a minute. But my husband is back to, well, should we move to Maine first? Da, 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 da. He's a little frustrated right now. His dad has been in the hospital, and he asked, you know, some family members to kind of keep him updated, and they really haven't. Which I'm assuming means that everything is probably fine, because if things have gone bad, he would have heard something. But he's a little frustrated that, you know, no one seems to be kind of keeping him in the loop. And of course, I pointed out to him that goes both ways. If he really wanted to know, he could have called. It's a little trickier. They are 2 hours ahead of us, and by the time he gets home from work, his parents are in bed because of the time difference. Did I say 2 hours? They're 3 hours, I think. 3 hours, I think. Maybe it's only 2. I can't remember now. Anyway. So, anyway, because of that, he's been, well, maybe we want to go to Maine first and kind of stay there for a little bit and see what happens. And we're just kind of, he's unsure at the moment. He just got put on some more medication for his blood sugar, and it's another really expensive one. I swear. Now, he's not insulin dependent. He just takes medication. But I don't know how people who don't have insurance afford medication. The amount that they charge for this medication is absolutely bonkers. And now he's taking 2 that are that expensive. I'm like, we need to figure out something, because this isn't working. I'm trying to convince him to go on a keto diet, because I think that would really help him out a lot. He's just a very snacky guy. If you leave him on his own, he eats a bunch of red meat and potato chips. Those are his go-to. He's been a little bit better. He eats a lot of nuts and that kind of stuff, but he still eats way more junk than he should. And he sneaks way more sugar than he should too. And that's going to be difficult for me, because that's why I told him, I said, you know, the difficult thing for me is if we go on that keto diet, it's going to have to be all of us, because if I have anything sugary in the house, he'll eat it. And, you know, well, I'm just going to have a little half of this cinnamon roll. Oh, I'm just going to have a little section of this pie. Oh, I'm just going to have a little of this, a little of that. I'm like, that's why your blood sugar is out of control, because you don't control what you eat. And he gets frustrated with me because he feels like I'm following him around, slapping things out of his hand. And I'm like, well, I'm sorry you feel that way, but, you know, I'd like you to hang around for a while and not have problems because you've turned into an actual insulin-dependent diabetic. But we'll see what happens. Anyway, my daughter came over, and she came over for the rent check, and I sat down and had some pretty frank discussion with her about, you know, we feel like we're getting taken advantage of. I kind of sat down with her and kind of went through our budget. Here's what you make. Here's what you've been spending. I had printed out some things because I keep track of her budget and ours, or her bank account and ours, on the computer. And so I had printed out some reports that showed her what she was spending her money on. And I think truly she was a little bit shocked about, you know, how much money. When you have those numbers kind of in front of your face, it's a little harder to say that's an insignificant amount when it's not. So we had some pretty good discussions, and, you know, talked about some things that she could change and some things she needed to do. And You know, I told her I'm I know she likes her job, but it just doesn't pay her enough. And I said, so, you know, your choices are going to be either to get a second job or to find a different job that pays you more. And I said, you know, you already work full time, so getting a second job, I understand not wanting to do that. I mean, then you have no free time. However, you know, like her job, one of the reasons she likes it is because, you know, when you work for a school, you get holidays off, you have weekends off, you have nights off. You're not, you know, doing any kind of those weird hours that you get when you're working, you know, retail or food service or whatever. The flip side of that is, like, she gets 2 weeks off at Christmas. That's great. She doesn't get paid for those 2 weeks. You know, she's not a teacher, so she's not making a salary for those weeks that they're not in school. And I said, you know, so you're going to be expecting us to help out again next month because you're not going to get full paychecks. You know, her first check in December will be short because they were off for Thanksgiving for a couple of days. And then the one right before Christmas will be, well, that one may be regular, but then the one when they come back won't be, because when they come back in January, they'll have had 2 weeks off at Christmas. So we talked about that, and, you know, she basically admitted that she was just lazy and didn't want to put in the effort. And I'm like, well, you know, pretty soon you're not going to have a choice because we're not going to be here. And I told her, I said, you know, some of that is my own selfishness, that I want to feel like you're set and able to take care of yourself before we go so I don't have to worry. Which is, you know, nuts, because I'm still going to worry. She's my kid. But she genuinely took it well and admitted that she needs to do a little bit more and she needs to be a little bit more proactive, and, you know, basically admitted that it was just a lot of effort and she was tired. And I'm like, well, welcome to life. Nobody is standing around waiting to hand you stuff that you want. You have to work for it, right? That's how it goes for everyone, you know? So it's not like she's special in that regard. I mean, if it did work that way, that would be awesome. I think we'd all be happy if it worked that way, but it doesn't. Okay, I think that's all of the O's over in this section. Anyway, she seems like she's been making a real effort since then, the few times that I've talked to her since we had our discussion, and so I feel like it's going well. We'll see what happens over the next couple of months. I have a feeling that us getting an actual, you know, date for our move to Canada, once we can say yes, our PR has been approved, then we can start the ball rolling. That will force her to kind of make some decisions and kind of get in gear as well. Okay, I think that's all for my life update. So let's talk about diamond painting. You guys, I survived Black Friday and Cyber Monday. I hope you all did too, even though I will admit I spent more than I really wanted to. Well, I shouldn't say that, I guess. If I really didn't want to spend it, I wouldn't have. I spent more than I feel like I should have. My husband is fine with it. I'm happy with the kits I got. I could have actually spent more. And, you know, it was this weekend seeing, oh yeah, Diamond Art Club's releasing some new releases. They're going to have more new releases on Saturday. It was like I felt like, you know, in the back of my head, oh, well, they had these 100 drops, so it'll be a couple of weeks before they release anything new. Nope. I wasn't into the Sesame Street characters. I didn't see anything for their releases this week that I was interested in. I mean, you know, there's always things that it was like that I could do. You know, it's cute. I would do that one, but nothing that I was like, yeah, I gotta have that one. So that was nice. I got some really cute kits, and, you know, I've been trying to figure out what I want to do for my goals and everything for next year and what I want to focus on. And one of the things that I'm definitely going to be focused on is reducing the amount in my stash. I don't have to have zero stash. I'm okay with spending money every year on diamond painting. So I don't have to, you know, get myself back to zero or anything like that. But I do feel guilty sometimes about buying new kits when I look at the amount I already have in my stash. So if I could get that down, then that would help me feel less guilty about buying new things. Also, you know, once I get it down, then it will be a little bit easier to kind of keep it down, I hope. That's what I'm telling myself anyway. I don't know if it'll actually work that way, but we'll see. I also have a lot of things that it's in the back of my head of, you know, transporting to Canada and once we're in Canada and all that kind of stuff. So, but I know I can buy from, at the bare minimum, I will be able to buy from Diamond Art Club and Dreamer Designs and Orloa. And honestly, if those were the only three companies I could buy from, I'd be happy. Everyone else will also ship international, I'm sure. It'll just be whether or not I want to pay the postage. And I won't know until we get there, you know, how postage is different in Canada. I know people say it's more expensive. We'll see. I don't know by the time you account for the conversion, the currency rate, exchange rates and all that. We'll see. Let's see. I really, like I said before, I really tried to pay attention to the size of the kits I was buying and, you know, really look at that and do I really want this one, or am I just buying it because I'm getting caught up? Now, I will admit the two that I bought on Black Friday or on Cyber Monday were probably more about me getting caught up than really wanting them. There was one I really wanted, and then the other one I caught because the second one that I really wanted, I wasn't going to save enough money on to make it worth it. You know, getting $5 off or $7 off for a 50% off sale is not great when you can buy, you know, a $70, $80 kit and get half of that off. But having said that, everything else that I bought, I wanted. So that was good. I'm hoping to get to show those to you guys here soon. I've already got my Craftablies, my Joann's, my Dreamer Designs. My Jaded Gem Shop, it sounds like it may be a while because she just sold more than she was expecting, I guess. So I don't know when those will get here. But I haven't got any of my Diamond Art Clubs yet, and they usually are here by now. Now, someone made a comment that they were bundling orders, like if you bought on Black Friday and Cyber Monday, they were putting together, which is annoying because I placed those orders 3 days apart. So now you're making me wait an extra 3 days to get my package because, yeah, that's just annoying to me. I mean, I already have seen people unboxing stuff that they got on Black Friday because they live closer to New Jersey. And, you know, I get that shipping takes time, but I mean, my Dreamer Designs already got here. And they were here within just a couple of days. So I feel like if they can do it, why can't Diamond Art Club? Anyway, so hopefully I will get those soon and then I can share them all with you guys. Like I said, I'm not going to be actually unboxing anything, but I will show you the boxes that I got and the paintings that I got. I'm really excited about some of them. And then my husband was asking me, well, I need some more ideas for Christmas for you. And I said, you know what I really need is some smaller paintings. I want some small projects to work on. And I had seen so many people on Instagram doing those paint gem little mini kits that I went out and looked at those, and I picked out a couple of ones from those, and I was like, buy me some of these. And then I'll just have some little cute, really quick projects that I can do. So he got me a couple of those. So I'll have small projects to work on. I'm just, oh, I need some small projects, you guys. Okay, so let me talk about DP for Vets, and then I'll go back to big projects. Okay, so DP for Vets, you guys, this year I hosted my first 2 diamond painting events. I hosted DP for Pets in June, and then I just hosted DP for Vets here in November. So if you haven't seen the finish video, that was yesterday's video. Go check it out. People did some really amazing pieces. I thought they were some really cute designs that I had never seen before. So I was excited to see all the different things that everyone did. And I do plan on doing both events again next year. So make sure you put those both on your diamond painting calendars and keep an eye out for those. I am going to try and get some sponsors next year so that I can kind of have some people helping to make the prizes better and also to defray a little bit of my costs. So we'll see what happens. I got to send out some emails and things to see who I can find that will sponsor some stuff for me. But I'm going to be doing both of them regardless, even if I just have to, you know, front all the prizes myself. I'm fine doing that too. In a lot of ways, sometimes that's easier. Anywho, okay, so it went really well. A huge thank you to everybody who participated in both events. They both went really well. I was actually, you know, really hesitant when I very first started doing the events to even announce that I was doing them, because I thought, you know, gosh, I haven't even been diamond painting that long. I don't know what I'm doing. And then I thought, you know what, I'm just going to do it. I'm just going to jump in and I'm going to do it. And guess what? It turned out fine. They both went great. It was awesome. I had a great time. I hope everybody else had a great time. And I got to share some fun projects and some fun prizes with people. So it's all good. Not that this next part is bad, but I've just been struggling, you guys. Okay, so first I've been struggling because my elbow is not where I want it to be. You know, I've been trying not to do anything with it to kind of give it a rest. And because a couple of times after diamond painting, it has been super sore the next day. But I mean, I literally can put it in a sling and not use it, and it's still sore the next day. And then there are days where I don't diamond paint or do anything really, and it's super sore the next day. So I'm trying some home remedies that people have shared. I'm doing some of the things my physical therapist gave me to do, hoping some, you know, one of those or a combination of those things will make a difference, because I have been avoiding diamond painting partly because of my elbow. So hopefully I'm going to be able to take care of that. The other reason I've been avoiding diamond painting is, you guys, I'm just, okay, so I basically have met all the goals that I set for myself, except for my diamond painting hours. And I'm struggling with those because, again, my elbow is causing issues. And so I've just not been able to diamond paint as much as I would normally, or even as much as I would like. The other thing is, the other goal that I really have left, because I'm not going to make my diamond painting hours at this point. I know I'm not. I don't even have enough hours left. I mean, even if I diamond painted 24 hours a day, I would barely make it. And there's no way I'm diamond painting 24 hours a day. So I'm just not going to make that goal. I really want to make my Big 10 goal. But the last 2 canvases that I have left for that are big. They're my Heaven and Earth design, which is like 90 by 50 or something like that. And then my Distracted by Diamonds, which is a little bit smaller than that, but not by much. And I just have been struggling. My thought process was, I had already started on the Heaven and Earth design, and I knew I probably wouldn't finish both of them. So my thought process was, I'll just work on the Heaven and Earth design because I've already started on it, try to get that one finished, and then I'll only have missed the goal by 1. The thing is, the Heaven and Earth design is bigger, 1. 2, it's square, so that's going to make it take longer. And 3, it is so confetti heavy, which is why those designs are good. However, it makes it take just that much longer to diamond paint. And so I've just been avoiding it because I'm so burnt out on big canvases right now. After Miss Havisham, which was big and a bunch of dark colors and some really trashy drills, and that's also part of the reason I'm struggling with the Heaven and Earth design. The section where I chose to start is a lot of really dark colors, so it's a lot of dark brown, black, dark greens, and sometimes the symbols are hard to see, so I'm having to use a light pad to see what I'm doing in certain sections, which always strains my eyes and makes my eyes tired quicker than usual. And my drills are not as good as I was hoping for. Now, I know the darker colors can be trashy, but having to spend your time picking out, trashy drills is just not fun. And then you add in the confetti, and I just feel like every little bit of progress I make takes forever. And so I just haven't been diamond painting. And I was actually sitting here reading my notes and getting ready to film this. And I thought to myself, okay, I already know I'm not going to meet that goal. So why am I forcing myself to do things that I don't really want to do? It's not going to be the end of the world, obviously, if I don't meet that goal. I mean, I'd really like to meet it, but if I don't, it's a goal I set for myself. So it's not like there's a big consequence other than, disappointment. That being said, knowing that I could finish at least one of them, I felt like I needed to push myself to do that. And like I said, it made the most sense, I thought, to continue with the Heaven and Earth design because that's the one I had started on. However, after sitting around thinking about it, I told my husband I've really struggled because I have some kits laying around that I would really like to work on. I've resisted opening some of my Black Friday purchases, even though I'd really love to work on them, because that's the other thing. I feel like I have canvases that are way older and I should work on those first. But then I thought, this hobby is supposed to be about bringing joy and zen to my life, right? If I'm just making myself stressed out, what is the point? So I think what I'm going to do is just show myself a little bit of grace here and admit that I am burnt out on the Heaven and Earth design, and admit that I just need to do some smaller canvases for a little bit. I started this one actually just because it was, something to do for my WIP and chat, and I wanted something kind of small to bring in here so that I could, show you guys without having to drag in one of those big, huge canvases from my Big 10. I also have some smaller canvases like this one from some of the budget companies that I've got, some vintage ones that I'd really like to do. And I have avoided those as well because, again, I was trying to focus on, I just need to put all my focus in these big canvases. So I think what I'm going to do, like I said, is I'm going to show myself some grace here and just admit that I'm probably not going to make that diamond painting goal. I'm not going to abandon my Heaven and Earth design, but I am going to take a break from it. I am going to finish up this kit, hopefully, and then there's actually one or two smaller ones that I have either in my, I'm trying not to get into my Black Friday stuff until I have time to make that video for you guys because I don't want to have any of those open until then. I've also gotten some really cool product reviews that I want to share with you guys. I've got a couple of licensed kits for product reviews that I want to share with you guys. So I really want to get those open so I can share them with you guys. And yeah, so I have some thinking to do. I need to sit down and kind of go through, what do I want to do? What order do I want to do things in? How do I want to do this? But I think the best thing for my mental health is going to be to just admit that I need to take a break from the heaven and earth design. I might, rather than the heaven and earth design, focus on the Distracted by Diamonds. It is also large, but I've not started it yet. It is a round. I think it would have quite a bit of multi-placing, which would mean it would also go faster. And, you know, just being a new project and not quite as confetti heavy, that it would let me get it finished that much faster. And then maybe that would be some motivation, knowing that that one was done, to continue working off and on the heaven and earth design. That's where my brain has been at. And yeah, just kind of beating myself up because I felt like I should want to finish and, you know, be all gung-ho to work on the heaven and earth design. And not that I don't want to work on it. I do. But I just feel like, again, you know, I just need to take a step back. I've gotten so burnt out on doing all those big projects. And yeah, I just need to take a step back from it. I want to finish it. But if it's not done in the next 2 weeks, the next 3 weeks, the next 5 weeks, is it going to be the end of the world? No, of course it isn't. I would like to make that goal, but that's just me being competitive. And I mean, I'm competing with myself, which is kind of ridiculous when I think about it. So if I really wanted to get it done, I'd be working on it, wouldn't I? So yeah, I think it's just time for me to step away from that one for a little bit and work on some other things and see what I can get done and kind of get that joie de vivre for diamond painting back. I think that's been my biggest issue, is it just feels like a slog lately, both because of my issues with my arm and then, you know, me trying to just slog through and get things done. And yeah, that's disappointing because that's not how I want to diamond paint. That's, for me, kind of defeats the whole purpose. So I just need to get back to my happy place. That's what I need. And right now, you know, just seeing the little bit of progress I've made on this makes me so much happier than spending, you know, that same amount of time on the heaven and earth, because I just don't make as much progress. And, you know, all progress is progress. I don't want to imply that, you know, it's not good or the painting isn't turning out well, because it is. But you guys know what I'm saying. You're diamond painters, you get it. Okay. I think that's all I'm going to get done for today's WIP and Chat. Let me zoom, oops, wrong way. Let me zoom out here so you guys can see how far I've gotten. So I've gotten most of the die done here. I've got both of her, well, this arm's pretty much done. I got to finish the couple of fingers there. Part of the butterfly's done. So yeah, this one won't take me any time at all to finish if I just sit down and work on it. And I think I may do that. And then I've got a couple of other ones that I'm going to pull out that I've been wanting to work on that I think I will do as well. And I may even get really ambitious and pull out that Distracted by Diamonds. Just admit defeat for a little bit with the heaven and earth and go back to working on something else. And then once I've got maybe some finishes under my belt, head back over to the heaven and earth with my mojo rejuvenated. So that's it for me today, guys. Thanks so much for sticking around till the end of the video. Before you leave, don't forget to do all the things. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, and hit that bell notification icon so that you can be informed of future uploads. And as always, guys, thanks so much for watching.